On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. Literally everything's going to come down to one day. The problem is the one day is going to be like a day after, most likely the 6th. The 6th is going to play out beautifully, and really what this is going to come down to is what people choose. There's two choices right now. There's the deep state, and then there's we the people, we the planet, everyone else. And a lot of people that have been in the deep state for a long time have never seen the deep state lose. Reagan, Kennedy, maybe some mistakes were made. Long story short, everybody learned who was in charge, and I'll tell you what, it was the deep state. Nobody believes that anybody can take down the deep state. Except these guys seem to have an odd amount of confidence. There's a lot of things playing out to optic-wise get we the people on board. And there's certainly a great number of patriots that love this country, love our Constitution, and want to see more of that good quality of life continue. That quality of life where we, the Americans, lead the world and show the world and help bring everybody else up. It's not an issue of trying to bring us down to everybody else's level. Let's bring everybody up to our level. That's what we do here. So there's choices being made right now. And I'll tell you what, a lot of these politicians are going to choose the deep state. They're going to. We need to see it, you and me, all of us. We all need to see the deep state's choice. And we also need to see who doesn't choose them. That list will be surprisingly small, maybe large. We've got some stories. I've got stuff here. Maybe bigger. And again, some people are being quiet up until the day for a reason, right? So again, we'll see. This has to play out. People are putting their conscience on the line. People are putting their careers, and for the treasonous, people are putting their lives on the line. And certainly for a lot of everybody else, our livelihood. Again, all you guys, thank you for your support. There's a PayPal link below. If you can help, I appreciate it. It makes an enormous difference. We've got all sorts of great work being done by a lot of us. And again, these guys, Trump, the amount of threats he probably gets, this guy has been at risk of death constantly. And Pence is as well. One of the reasons why these guys just can't go out willy-nilly just anywhere they want. A lot of things are happening right now. Even if Pence isn't on board, again, we'll see what choices are made. It's really going to come down to choices. Even if he's not on board, his life's at risk because if Trump can be taken down and they already got Pence gone, that's Pelosi that's in charge. Again, that would be their ideal perfect scenario because she would executive order herself into God knows what. We've seen what the left or these deep state in bed with China people will do. We've seen the lockdowns, Gretchen Whitmer, here in California, Gavin Newsom, piece of work. Out there, Mr. Andrew Cuomo, thank you very much for demonstrating the CCP's true plan for this entire country. You've been a real joy. But the problem is people are waking up. The people realize what's going on. The people are, quote, fed up with what you guys are doing. People are awakened. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Can't, especially if it's a Robin Williams genie. There's no damn way. So people are fed up. People are tired of it. People are starting to defy stuff. People are being fined like $10,000 a day and still opening their restaurant up every day and just be like, F you. Like, I can't pay that anyway. The first day of fines, $10,000 was too much. Bite me. Let's just keep it rolling. Maybe double or nothing. I dare you to come back tomorrow. Like, what are you going to do? People are at their wits' end. And truly, this is where people finally cross that line, and that's what I think most of us are hoping doesn't happen. Again, we'll see how this one day plays out, and we'll see what side people show themselves on. Gavin Newsom's recall, by the way, is going really well right now. I think some other states are doing similar things, but we are well on our way to recalling the mayor again. Hey, and who knows? Maybe we bring back Arnold Schwarzenegger again, right? The governor, he'll come back, right? He'll take us, he'll bring us. He doesn't even sound like that anymore. He's so old. It's so sad. Anyway, it's just growing older, right? But one thing that's also kind of interesting, I don't know if you recognize this garage, but this 2K cancel rent, and then it says UBI exclamation point, because you really want to make the point, right? We got some anarchy symbols, kind of groovy. I thought the A part went longer, but that was just back when I was being a rebel. We want everything. And there's a pig and some blood. Pig with blood, we're assuming, I hope. And even that's kind of disgusting. I'm hoping it's paint or something different altogether. But this is Nancy Pelosi's house. This is Nancy Pelosi's garage. People are frustrated. People are very frustrated. And this, I hate to say it, Nancy, and you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. This isn't Trump supporters. Nothing about this is Trump supporters, unless they're truly trying to blame it on the left, because it'd be very easy to do. But this seems kind of apropos for the standard MO that we see frequently. So again, bad things are happening. Do I think this is okay? No, not at all. Do I think this is kind of what happens when you as a leader keep casting your vote in an obvious way that we the people, and I don't just mean we the people on the Patriots side, the deplorable we the people. I even mean we the people that you guys like. You're we the people. There's a whole bunch of us we the peoples, oddly, kind of on both sides of the fence. So, interesting. Now, hey, everybody, we've got a new word to learn today. Now, you've probably heard this word. There's a guy, I'm going to say his name, just Informed Talk. He used to have a YouTube channel. He got jacked. And, I don't want to say anything too bad about the guy, but he was interesting. He was hard to listen to because he'd ramble on for like I'm doing. Feckless, that's where I heard the word first, was his channel. Careless and irresponsible, feeble or ineffective, spiritless, weak, useless, worthless. Ouch, right? I don't want to be thought of that way. Oh, look at that. You know that Wheeler guy, the Ted Wheeler guy up in Portland? Yeah, no, kind of they gave him that nickname, oddly. Now, it's funny, and it's not funny, ha-ha funny. It's more just that ironic funny. People know where Nancy Pelosi lives, but you remember this guy moved. I don't know if you guys remember that, but back during the riots, this guy's neighbors were getting a little upset with him, mainly because everyone was pissed at him. He had lower approval rate than Trump in this city, which is impressive, mind you. But that being said, he had to move. So once he moves to an undisclosed location, and he kept it hush-hush and real secret, I don't think he used a standard moving service. Maybe, he probably didn't even use the U-Haul. I bet he didn't. But what's funny is now all of a sudden he's got all this confidence. Oh, no, we don't want people to do that because, Happy New Year's in Portland, Oregon, they rioted. Antifa, again, rioted. Because that's what they do. They're bored. And if Trump goes away, they're not going to. And if you keep everybody locked down with COVID, they're definitely not going to go away. Got a little pent-up energy, right? You got to get them out. It's like a horse, right? You got to get them out and run them, right? And run that off. But these people, they got nowhere to go. So kind of the way things are playing out, these leaders, that day is coming. And I know a lot of you are like, well, what happens if we lose? There's no losing on this. Like we've heard, and I think truly there is truth behind. This is one of the many things from the posts, the intelligence drops that we need to pay attention to is nothing can stop this. It's an awakening process. It's truly what it is. And what they're saying is there's already enough people awake. And what's happened since that line was crossed is a whole bunch more people have awakened. And you can't put someone back to sleep. The deep state can't do it no matter how hard they try. Doesn't matter. You can program people all you want, but ultimately once they're awake, they're like, I don't believe you. So kind of how things are playing out. Interesting. Some are calling this a potential metaphor. I call it karma. But, a week, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It still works out reasonably the same, but a pretty good solid 15 seconds of sheer enjoyment right here.
Happy New Year.
Keep the faith.
Get it. Pop it. Yeah. Here it comes. They never work right. Here's to better luck in the new year.
Gosh, just like my ankle, just like my campaign, just like my wannabe presidency, just like my vice presidency. Broken. That's so weird. It's almost ironic, wouldn't you think? It's like rain on a wedding day or a free ride when you've already paid. Hey, you know what? One final betrayal. U.S. Senate is overriding President Trump's veto of the National Defense Authorization Act. So, as I was stating earlier, there was some ugly people that have some ugly things that are happening to them. It's just, likes find likes. Likes dissolve likes, as they say in chemistry. So, we're getting the final bit of betrayal. McConnell, thank you. You seriously just the last nail in there. I don't care what you say or who you say, but I can guarantee you the one thing that Mitch McConnell's not going to support is what's going to happen on the 6th. And we're going to see that. We're going to see the blockage. We're going to see how deep the deep state goes, or how deep the deep state goes. We're going to see it in action. It's going to frustrate us. I want you to prepare yourself. I need you to, because it's going to be very important. When I say that one day it's going to come down to, it's not really this day. This day is going to stand in infamy for sure. No question. The one day is going to happen, I'm guessing, before the 20th, but one day after the 6th at least, or thereabouts. I think at least everybody's vote's got to come down. Of course, I've joked, and I thought how awesome it would be is on the 6th, everyone casts their vote, and it's decided at that point, what we're probably going to hear decided. And then just immediately, like, U.S. Marshals or something just come into the building and just literally with flex cuffs. And it's just, it's a fantasy I have. Sorry. I'm into weird things. I think feet are cute too, but whatever. It's not important. Where there is hope, and this is just Tennessee, man. I lived in Tennessee, by the way. Knoxville. I was in the Knoxville area. For those of you that may listen to classic rock radio, I worked at WIMZ for a period of time, 103.5, Knoxville's classic rock. Been there, did it, done it. Needed to start making some actual money. So anyway, 23 Tennessee legislators call on Senator Marsha Blackburn to join Josh Hawley on January 6th. There better be more than 2 people, by the way. Is all I got to say. There better be like that 140 we're hearing about in the House. And then there better be like, 12, 15, 20 senators. There better be. Remember, your future is going to depend on what choices you make today. So we'll see how this plays out. But again, give some hope. Noise is being made. People are standing up and saying, this is what we want. And that's what we keep doing. Remember, www.senate.gov. Find your senator. Contact them before the 6th. And also be prepared to come out to Washington, D.C. before the 6th. And your House people, right? www.house.gov. Go there, check out who's your House person. Hit them up. They need to make noise. Noise is the way we're going to do this the proper way, which is it's so much better if this does get taken care of on the 6th. It can. It might. Do I have a lot of hope? No, I don't. Mike Adams put it at 80%. I was like, yeah, actually, I think I agree with that. 80% chance that it's not going to work the way we want it to. Do I think it's over at that point? No, unfortunately. That's probably when it's going to be really hard to make videos about this topic. But for the time being, we have discussions to have. So one thing that's also interesting, again, just talking about the general way people are feeling about everything right now. Distrust, I would say, is probably capital in the top of the list, right? A lot of people see the betrayal that's happening. Certainly anybody that's living in one of the most populous states, they talk about democracy, right? And how you want an electoral college because it gives flyover states that vote, gives them fairness, right? Well, one thing that's funny about democracy is when it comes to people being pissed off at the lockdowns, the most populous states are the ones with the strictest lockdowns, which means the most populous states, from a democracy standpoint, are the most pissed off at their own CCP rulers. Interesting. On top of that, over half of the healthcare workers at California's hospitals are refusing to get vaccinations. I'm not casting judgment. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong. Okay? That's not what I'm here to do. What I am saying is this really messes up the whole narrative I've been hearing that Fauci's been talking about. You got to get up to 90% vaccinations to even hit herd immunity, because that's changed. Now we've changed the definition of herd immunity. Of course, why wouldn't we? Hey, last year is the year to do all that kind of stuff. Man, it's hard to let go of 2020, isn't it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's still continuity of crazy. That being said, all sorts of crazy. People are not too sure about wanting to do it, especially for something that's got a 99.9% effective, health. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through it. I don't think the flu has that high of a success rate. The flu affects children really badly, and it affects old people really badly, and then most everybody in the middle is generally all right. This thing, oddly, just super duper affects old people only. It's kind of weird. I don't know. We'll see how it continues to play out. Now, there's all sorts of continuing information to talk about the elections, how they're not necessarily on the up and up. People said, well, there's no evidence. And then it was like gobs of evidence kept coming out. And they're like, well, there's not enough evidence to change the votes. Then gobs of evidence continues to come out showing more than enough. Just the one example at the arena in Georgia, when they sent everyone home for that water leak, and then the magic table and magic ballot boxes showed up. Well, they didn't show up. They're already there. Suddenly just someone found them magically, like the rainbow. There should have been a rainbow in that image, right? Just coming down on top of that table and just a pot of gold as they pull them out. That being said, more than enough votes that night to change the election. If you took away just all those votes that happened at that time, just the votes that happened at that time, Trump wins Georgia. Just that. Just saying. Just those votes. So also, on top of all of that, according to Patrick, we learned this morning on New Year's Day that we learned something very important from a certified forensic document examiner about certain ballots in certain counties and certain states. Burns said that they're going to lynch every politician involved in this scheme, starting with certain governor of certain state. Now, I'm going to fill in a little bit of the certain for you. They're talking about Georgia. Big shock. Georgia. So, replace all the certains with Georgia. Governor, Georgia, big trouble. You're in big trouble, buddy. And he's a Republican, too. So, yeah, so like I said, it's not a party thing. It's a deep state, or it's like humanity. Got to pick. You got to choose one or the other, because ultimately it's going to start to get ugly. So when Americans learn what I learned this morning from federally certified forensic document examiner, sounds like proof, about certain ballots in certain counties and certain states, that people are going to be pissed. Everything has to go through lawyers before release. Sorry, I can only drop you appetizers. Now, essentially, what happened is they found a bunch of ballots that seem to have been tampered with for sure, printed illegally, not legitimate, and we're talking boxes and boxes and boxes of ballots that were not legit. They were not too legit to quit. Hey. They weren't bad. I know, it's weird. It's something about Saturday morning. I'm sorry, guys. I'm loving it. It's the holidays. So, yeah, a lot of ballots. They say 100 in a box. That kind of seems surprising. These boxes look like they could hold more than 100 ballots, but whatever. 100 ballots a box. That's still lots of hundreds of ballots. Just this one location. So what's very interesting is they went into this location. They meaning, the sheriffs, Fulton County sheriffs. Oh yeah, maybe that's even more specific. It's Fulton County. The sheriffs went in there and took truckloads of these ballots. Where did he take them? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. He took them back to the sheriff location. Yeah, right off the bat, you're like, wait, so how do we know we can trust him? Right? That's a good question. We don't know we can trust him. That's absolutely impossible these days. But we do know the sheriff came from the FBI when he started his career. Bam! Started in the FBI-izzle. And now all of a sudden, he's taken a bunch of ballots that they know. Remember we talked about watermarks? We talked about barcodes being unique. We talked about a lot of very interesting things. And I've also heard stories, too, how on Republican ballots, the barcode was actually jacked up intentionally so it would throw errors, and they were utilizing that to arbitrarily select registered Republican voters' ballots, specifically, so they could be adjudicated. I love that word from John Wick. I don't know if you've watched, I'm the adjudicator. Like, it's just that chick is so mean. Like, I don't even want to ever deal with her. So it's sad. Now, one thing I want to talk about, this is a real serious game that we're all going through, everyone, and especially the important people that are in front of millions and millions of people. And when the deep state doesn't like you, when the deep state considers you a threat, a legitimate threat, you get Kennedy'd, man. You get dropped. You get Kennedy. John F. Kennedy killed in front of everybody. Then his brother was killed shortly thereafter. Like, they didn't care that people were going to put two and two together. Didn't matter. They wanted to make a point. And that's really what they're fond of doing, is making points. Another Republican senator, Ben Chaffin, dies from COVID-19 complications. It's not cool. Senator Chaffin was, I think I finally said his name right, a 60-year-old represented the 38th district for the last 6 years. Gone. Gonskis. Not cool. And again, certainly all sorts of people are, he was the greatest guy ever. There's one time I saw him give one of his organs to someone that needed him. So, again, not cool. Now, some other fun stuff we're finding out, surprisingly, about Georgia. And some of you may be wondering, why do we hear so much about Georgia? Why Georgia? Well, hopefully you realize, put two and two together, that on the 5th, the day before the day that is going to go in infamy, we have the Senate runoff. And if they already cheated on the election, and God knows all sorts of ways, you think people are paying attention. Certainly. Stacey Abrams is still at the helm, and her sister's in court trying to block things, but it's okay. That's a different thing. Like sands to the hourglass. We'll work through this. Same batch of ballots scanned 5 times, though. Now, that seems a little peculiar. There's a slow motion version of this. I am not going to play it because it's freaking 2 minutes long. I think you'll get the gist of it here. And I want to say it's this lady over here is who's going to be the star for us. Let's check it out. Yeah, so scan. She put the ballots in right here. Booyah. Okay. Zip, 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 pretty fast. She grabs them from up there. Tippy, tappy, tip. Tippy, tappy, tap. Slide them back in. Let's do that one more. Zip, 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 zip. Okay, let's grab those again. Time numero tres. Tappy, tappy, tap. Drop them back in there. Very good. Scanny, scan. Okay, so that's 3 solid times. Let's grab those one more time. Just in case we didn't get those the first 3 times, let's go 4. 4. Do I hear 4? Let's actually pretend we're looking at them, right? And now, oh crap, people are paying attention. Oh no, let's act like we're normal. Scanny, scanny, scan. Da, 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 da. And that's numero cuatro, as they say in my country. So yeah, and then she's grabbing them again. Now this lady's like, oh no, they're on to us. This guy's going to be like trying to block it, right? He played football. He knows how to do that. Or basketball, possibly. But, oops, that's just one more example of mischievous behavior that we've seen on camera. And it didn't look like, she was doing things, but she didn't do anything different. She didn't try to iron them out, right? Like they were crinkled or something. She just literally tap, 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 scan again. Tap, 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 scan again. So I'm just saying, even if you try to say, wow, there was something wrong with them, they had to rescan them, duh. They didn't do anything to them. So, I don't know, right? Don't they call the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over and over with the hopes of a different outcome? I call that insanity. 5 times. That's, if someone wouldn't have stopped her with the tape, she'd probably still be sitting there doing it, just insane out of her crazy mind. Who knows? Go Mayor. Hey, I don't have to be standing, I don't have standing to sue Pence. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard they kicked the lawsuit back down, because Nancy Pelosi and Pence both said, yeah, we don't want that. Now, like everybody else, am I willing to throw Pence out to dry yet? No, I'm not. I think this is optics. I do. I actually think this is optics. But am I concerned because it's coming down to the wire and there's a lot of shenanigans going on and there's obviously some disinformation going and Pence has been lumped into the same group as Nancy Pelosi by the news, which is intentional. Did Pence have to cancel a trip because of the optics of the trip instead of what it was actually intended to do? Yes. So, do I think Pence is going to support Trump? I do, actually. I actually do. Do I think he's going to do it via disagreeing with the vote or whatever? No, I don't. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm so prepared for the 6 to go all sorts of different ways. I think Congress should vote on it, right? There's all sorts of people that are coming out and saying they're going to be a part of that, like, hey, I disagree. And so that's supposed to happen. If that happens, does Pence even need to do this? Does he need to be the guy that's under Trump that's able to stop the election, right? Like, there's kind of a weird optics around that. And again, I think it's one of those things where we want to do this the right way. We want to do this the best way from the most people's perspective. And worst case scenario, it's still going to happen. And I think that's the thing that's hard for some to realize. I don't know how. I don't know how the game plays out. I just know we're in for a ride. And we'll see what happens. And a lot of people are going to be signing their names one way or the other. And that's very, very important. I can't overstress that. It's very important we walk through that doorway together, all of us, and see what we see. And I don't know. There's still decisions to be made. I am one who believes everyone has free will. There's some people that don't necessarily buy into that. I do. And so we'll see how things play out. But is Gomar pissed? Of course he is. I would be too. But again, he's one of the people that's optically showing we're doing every damn thing possible. Does Gomer probably have an idea of what's really behind curtain number 5 or wherever the hell? I don't even know where we're at right now as far as curtains, but the one after us currently. Then, yeah, he's probably got ideas of where this goes. And I think a lot of us would prefer it not to play out that way. But one way or the other, this is going to happen. Something is happening, period. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of people are talking about a lot of crazy stuff. Obviously, amazing transparency about total corruption and criminality in nearly every institution of authority, which is true, right? So from the WHO to the CDC, the FDA, FBI, DOJ, SCOTUS, etc., right? We know for sure that we pretty much, I don't know about you, but I've lost a lot of faith in a lot of different institutions within this United States. That is beautiful. That signifies an enormous problem, doesn't it? Signifies almost like the insurgency already happened. So some people might say it's a coup to take back your government from the people that just stole it from you. I don't know if that's like tug of war or what. Obviously, the art of war is playing into this, so we'll see. Bitcoin, they keep talking about. Again, Bitcoin's fake money. You can believe in however you want. You can listen to whatever financial advisors you want. I don't care, and I would never argue you. I mean, I don't certainly just deal with currencies, but Bitcoin is a fake piece of fake money that's and then you got a digital wallet that can fully be hacked. They've been hacked. It's already happened. So I don't understand why, if I have dollar bills in my pocket, you can't hack those. Now, does it suck to have just stacks of dollar bills? Yeah, no. It's kind of fun to have a lot of cash, right? Come on, be honest. It's fun to just be able to just make it rain. Anywho, not that I've done that, but just, with fake Monopoly money. I bought literally 4 sets of Monopoly just so I could just rain 500s. Anyway, what will happen on January 6th? That's 3 outcomes. And this is Mike Adams. Biden will win, no decision or a delay, which is very possible, or Trump will win. So I'm like him, man. 80% currently putting the probability on Biden. I'll be honest. I don't think that's what's ultimately going to happen. Do I think this is where the vote's going to go? The deep state has a lot of tentacles and a lot of people. So will I be surprised to see that? No. Am I hoping for more? God, yes, I am. Of course. Always hopeful, but always prepared for the worst. Remember that. Very good way to come at these things. That being said, all sorts of stuff coming out, more information around Georgia. They've shown how they can hack these things just like willy-nilly. They have shown how they just changed them, pump and dump. They changed votes that already came out. They would intercept it, grab the vote, make changes, and then shove it back into the pipeline. Again, crazy stuff is coming out very, very quickly. Today's the 2nd. Obviously, the 5th is very close. To my understanding, the 4th, Trump's going to be out in Georgia doing a rally. So the 4th will be a big deal. The 5th will be a big deal. The 6th will be an amazingly big deal. And people hopefully will be out and about all over the place, and certainly in Washington, D.C. And then, I don't know, the 7th through the 20th. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting. Again, prepare for what's inevitably coming. We'll see. I think ultimately what's going to happen is going to happen. It's just how it happens. You got to get enough people to sign all the places so you know who you're going to immediately go after. And it might be one day that they go into all these different places and literally just pull people out in handcuffs. And that can be happening soon. They just passed this bill here finally in Congress to ban anonymous shell companies. This is how people launder money. This is how rich people do crazy things. They create these fake shell companies and then launder money through them, be it, I don't know if you guys saw Breaking Bad, but the car wash, right? It was a way to launder money. Even though car washes don't make crap, you could actually pretend you were doing way better than you are, so you could legitimately take some of that Breaking Bad money and actually get it into the household. So it's kind of how laundering works. Not that I'm by any means an expert, but, I've definitely worked with a bunch of accountants at different points of my career. So banning these anonymous shell companies, this goes into effect, I think, reasonably soon. I don't recall the exact date, but it's January 22nd right there. So 2 days after Trump is going to be reinaugurated. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Folks, I know this is freaky. I know this is like an emotional roller coaster, and believe me, it's been that way for all of us too. All of us together on this, where we go one, we go all, right? But that is what we are experiencing together. Understand, things are about to get a little crazy. Things are probably not going to go the way we're hoping, but I think there's many plans that back it up, and I think ultimately there is one outcome that we're all going to experience that we're hoping is chosen on the 6th, the appropriate ways. And it could be. Again, a lot of people are waking up to the fact that the deep state's going down. A lot of people are waking up to this very fact. So we'll see how it plays out. Remember, united we are strong. Remember, there are people on the left and there are people on the right that are problematic. It's not the Democrats. It's not the Republicans. It's dark people that want to control. There's going to be people that wake up that are going to be on the other side of the aisle from you. Or at least if you're similar to me and you're kind of rocking the center, wait for some people to kind of reach up to you and say, hey, what's going on? Just because they're a Democrat doesn't mean might be worth the time, the discussion. I want to thank you guys for everything. I want to thank you for your subscriptions, for putting the bell notification on, for thumbs ups, for commenting, for the whole 9 yards. You guys are awesome. Again, this is a powerful movement of many people, many voices, and trying to get to a general similar destination. And I think we're doing an amazing job working together. Again, where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.